I have a 2023 Yamaha R1. I'm going to take this stock exhaust off here. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start at the back of the exhaust here and then work my way up towards the front. This clamp right here is going to be a 5mm. That comes off really easily, just like that. I'm going to remove this bracket right here. There will be 3 bolts here that we'll need to remove. I'm taking the parts here and just setting them aside, putting the bolts back with the pieces that they go with. Remove the servo cables here. I'm using a 10mm. I'm going to use some black electrical tape here. I'm going to tape these metal parts off here at the bottom, so whenever I am pulling these cables, either from the top or the bottom, they don't scratch up any of the other parts of the bike. Remove these 2 bolts here. Right behind the foot brake, there's a bolt right here. For the O2 sensor here, I'm using a 17mm wrench. There we go. There's a bolt down here, it's a 10mm. Remove this bolt here. I used a water bottle here to kind of push this fairing piece back a little bit, because there's a bolt right here that we need to remove. It's a 6mm. I'm on the clutch side of the bike. I'm starting at the back. This is the catalytic converter. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a vice grip and this Allen wrench here just to kind of break that loose. For this cover right here, there are 2 bolts. Remove the O2 sensor. It's a 17mm. We're going to loosen this bolt. It's a 10mm. I'm ready to remove the exhaust. I put a rag right here so when it comes back it won't scratch the swing arm. Just wiggle that up and down. Remove the seats. Remove these 2 bolts here. Remove these 2 bolts here on the back. Remove these 2 front bolts here. Remove the cover. We can remove this piece here. The servo motor is right here. It's held down by this bracket, and we need to remove this bolt here. It's a 5mm. Unhook the servo motor, press down on the clamp here in the middle until you hear it snap, and then pull back. I thought you had to loosen these 4 on the outside. You don't have to, just these 2 on the top. There we go. You can see the cables are here. Remove those. I'm going to push the cables from the top of the tail and just kind of lightly pull down here at the bottom. I'm just doing that one at a time, so I have one of them out. The servo cables are removed. I have a servo buddy that's going to plug into this connector here. That way the motorcycle does not throw any codes. And this just plugs right in. I'm going to use a zip tie mount. Reinstall your pieces up here that we removed. The eBay exhaust is in. We're going to go ahead and unbox this. So this is going to be the can. Now the one I bought is just the basic carbon fiber looking exhaust here with the polygon design. And then it gives you an opportunity to run which fake knockoff do you want to run. I'm not going to put any of these stickers on there because they're just going to peel probably. It comes with springs and a bolt. Surprisingly, it's been wrapped really nicely. Has exhaust clamps. There are 2 extra springs here and a spring puller. And we have the pipe itself. Man, I'm telling you what, this pipe is already super light. So it comes with the dual O2 sensor bungs. You can see here the spring retainer pieces are right there where the exhaust is going to fit on, along with a mounting bracket. Let's bolt this up and see how it fits. You want to make sure that you remove the OEM exhaust gaskets here. We're not going to use those. I am going to use their clamps. I loosened these clamps out as far as they would go and then took a rubber mallet and just tapped those on to the pipe here. Alright, we're going to bolt this exhaust clamp down. I'm going to pull it towards me a little bit. I'm going to tighten up the clamp on this side here. I'm going to use a little bit of red Loctite here for the nut that they supplied with this kit. Now because I need 3 hands, what I did is I'm going to use this strap and then I can put pressure on that brake pedal and that will allow me to use both hands. Tighten this down. There we go. Install the springs. I'm definitely going to order some tighter springs because I was able to just put that on there by hand and that shouldn't be the case. All right, let's fire it up, see what it sounds like. God, dog.